What is up, guys? My name is Magic the Greatening, and today we're gonna play kind of a budget. It's a fun deck. I wouldn't take it too seriously for competitive, but it's budget blue-black cycling. I usually do it where I start with creatures and then spells. But I'm going to, organize this differently from things that get buffs from cycling, and then cards that cycle, and then things that both cycle and can be buffed by cycling. So let's go to the cycling buffs. You'll see what I mean here in a few minutes, or a few seconds. Cycling buffs. We're going to play 4 copies of Ruthless Sniper and 4 copies of Shadowstorm Vizier. These are the only 1 and 2 drops we're playing in the deck. And that's why this thing... are creatures that are 1 or 2 drops. That's why this thing is kind of not competitive. There's not really anything good to play early. I mean, you could play Dread Wanderer, I guess, just to put out a body. But other than that, it's not that worth to play anything else that's 1 or 2 drops. These guys get boosts from cycling. You can put -1 counters on guys. The other one just gets a boost. It's just a 1/3 flying. Basically, it has prowess. It's just like a worse version of Storm Chaser Mage. I believe that's what that card is, but, we're playing a cycling deck. So, let's go to the enchantments. These things are kind of the only reason this deck exists. Obviously, the 4 copies of Drakehaven is going to consist of almost half the budget for this deck, and 3 copies of Faith of Devoted. Drakehaven, just get 2/2 flying drakes. Perfect. It's amazing. It's exactly what we want to do. And then 3 copies of Faith of Devoted, so we can drain them. And once we get going with this thing, we're not playing new perspectives in this deck. That would go very well with the Blue God, which I am currently trying to make a deck for. So, yeah, these things just make drakes for us and then drain them. Pretty good. We're going to play 3 copies also of Archfiend of Ifnir. Mass removal in a creature, I absolutely love it. We'll be cycling a lot in this deck, so just keep that in mind. Archfiend is perfect for that. Let's go to things that cycle, or could do other stuff for us. We're going to play 4 copies of Censor, 4 copies of Hieroglyphic Illumination, 2 copies of Lay Claim, and 3 copies of Unburden. The only reason Unburden and Lay Claim are in there is just for cycling. However, sometimes they can get you out of jams. Maybe they have 2 cards in hand, you just make them discard both of them. It's pretty good. And Lay Claim, you can take control of one of their permanents. Maybe they got something that you can't really deal with right now. Just take control of it. I mean, 7 mana is a heavy, heavy burden. But, that card's kind of in there just to cycle. 4 copies of Censor, obviously counterspell, kind of part of the removal in this deck. And then if it no longer becomes viable, you just cycle it for 1 mana. It's perfect. And the same thing with Hieroglyphic Illumination, how to play the full playset of this. I mean, I probably would never use the full 4 to draw 2 cards. I just cycle it for 1, because that's what this deck's about. Let's go to the things that both can be cycled and get buffs from cycling. We're going to play 3 copies of Curator of Mysteries and 3 copies of Horror of the Broken Lands. A 4 and a 5-drop. We're playing a lot of those. Curator, pretty nice. You get them early, you just cycle them for 1. Or you get them out, you have a 4/4 flying guy. That's pretty nice. And and then whenever you cycle or discard, you scry 1. However, the one thing I don't like about this card is it's very susceptible to Fatal Push and Grasp of Darkness. But, what are we going to do about that? We're in a budget, cycling deck that hasn't really been completed. I'm sure when the next set comes out, there'll be more pieces for it. And then Horror of the Broken Lands is just a dude that you can cycle. Or if you have them out, you could just cycle like 3 cards and then just make them like a 10 to 7. It's absolutely ridiculous. This card is really, really good once you get them out. I promise. We're going to the lands, 4 Evolving Wilds, 9 Island, 10 Swamps. Nothing too fancy. You're saying they might think that's not a lot of lands. I like playing 23 lands in my deck. I think 24 is a bit too much, and anything under, I feel like I could get mana screwed. So 23 seems perfect. I mean, yeah, we have a few 5-drops, but that's basically it. Other than Lay Claim, there's nothing over 5, and we're never going to really cast Lay Claim. We're just going to cycle it. So, no sideboard for this one. I didn't really take this one too seriously. Honestly, there needs to be a bit more for cycling. Obviously, you can have new perspectives, but that's a 6-drop enchantment that has like a requirement for it to go online. It's kind of stupid, but I'm trying to make a deck with that and the blue god. I forgot his name already. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, I'm trying to make a deck with that right now. However, you'd also have to play cycling in that deck, and you'd have to like fulfill the needs of the god of keeping 7 cards in your hand. And that's really, really difficult, and something where you need to play a lot of cards to keep up with the game. So that deck is kind of a struggle to make. I'm going to try and find a way to make it work, though. So this is blue-black budget cycling. It costs like $25, and like half the budget is just in Drakehaven. Stupid. Anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. It means a lot. And also, if you're new, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.